today I have two clips. One is from the 2008 Super Bowl between the New York Giants and Patriots, I believe. Well, not a football person, but second clip is something I am very good about, and it's a third international Dota 2 championship games, and I'm going to show both of them. The first one is the Super Bowl clip, and I want you to listen to the commentary and audience reaction in the clip. So, and audience not working. Okay, so commentary kind of sketchy. I thought it was not as active, but you can see the crowd just like roaring in excitement, and some of it kind of in disbelief. But I bet if you're in that crowd, your ears probably, you can't hear yourself think, you probably can't hear the next person next to you cheering with you. So you can see the excitement in both in the crowd and of course by the players. And next one I have those two players.
Quote the team profile. They will want to push the tier 2 towers. It's now the time.
That's divine. Sylar going for it.
You are a man, Sylar. You are a man.
LGD going big or go home.
Do they go GG? Look at the TP bottom lane. They already got support. Loader, Admiral Bulldog. Do they turn? Do they turn? Do they rush the GG? Roaring. They've already found Arcade. Arcade goes down. DDC stumped down Sylar. He said it's going for kills. They're back inside the base.
They have to go for it. They have to kill a tier 3.
For the throw race. And now the start of DD. Where is it? The team bots are gone. They have to go back. It's too late. It's too late for LGD. Alliance will take the win here. Loader and Bulldog in through the rear. There's just not enough deeps. Sylar, he tried. He tried. Oh, 62 minutes, 46 seconds. 30.
Yep, 62 minutes, 46 seconds. I watched that whole game. And it was by far the most exhilarating. I was not in the audience, I wasn't next year, but it was exhilarating to watch, to see two teams that are like head to head, almost 3 seconds from, if 3 seconds, whereas for the last screen, you saw them win. But if it weren't for 2 seconds, they probably would have lost. So winning a game just by 2 seconds, just as I think even closer than the Super Bowl game. So this brings about the question about if this is a natural sport in America. We already know esports is already a growing trend globally. So today I want to explain why esports is a growing trend, not just globally, but in America also. So, okay, so first I'd like to give a general definition of what esport is. An esport is an organized community of video games that compete with one another. So there are different types of genres within the competitive esports. And the first one we're kind of all familiar with are first-person shooters, or FPSs. In America, this is heavily advertised in not just on TV, but on YouTube if you watch Game on Play, or by any big corporations such as Activision, advertising Call of Duty, and ESP. I forgot the company also. Battlefield, and a couple other new FPS that we seem to glorify in America. And then two of my other favorites that have a head-to-head scene are also shown, such as CSGO and Team Fortress 2. The competitive scene is always based on the objective, not just getting the most kills, which is really important to point out because everyone thinks, oh, if I kill the most people, I win a game. It's not just that. Play the objective, people. Next genre are fighting games, and Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat. These are two arcade games that even Professor Kirkman maybe remembered, but they're old timers, and you can see them in the arcades, and you see people just like driving around them, and you see the two players just like on their joystick, pressing actually not just controllers, they're pressing buttons on the arcade rather than the constant controls we see on the like this. So with the release of consoles, of course, these games have become much more widespread, and with the online features, you can play with anyone on the world. And when you go to these these tournaments bring back all those people from around the world to play right next to each other, which is a big thing for not just the players, but some of the people that are watching, because they can see people from Japan and how they fight in these games in America and how they do it. And then the most popular today, which are robust, or multiplayer online battle arenas. And of course, I'll show you the Dota 2 clip. This is the Dota 2 and League of Legends are the two most popular today. And as you can see, I'm a Dota 2 fan, so I'm going to be centered around this game more than League of Legends. But both of them have a great competitive scene, as I know of. So now that we have that, I want to explain why it's a growing trend. So, don't need this anymore. Okay, so the first factor that increased this esports popularity is Twitch. Twitch is a website where people can stream the video game they're watching. So just like how YouTube, there's a bunch of gamers on there, a lot of them are switching to Twitch where they could stream the game they're playing right now in front of the audience. So it gets like that lack of time with the subscribers or people who watch them. You can stream them, and then people can ask you questions. And unless you're that popular, you can't see the questions at all. And this is almost a central hub of esports tournaments because it's almost like TV to us or ESPN where we want to watch football, baseball, whatever sport we watch. Because any esports tournament is bound to be on Twitch because that's where people are watching video games. That's where they'll be advertised. And the second factor is the growing prize pool for the tournaments. So the clip I showed you of Dota 2, that was the third international in which the prize pool was almost $3 million. The following year, which I attended, is TI4 for the fourth international, and the prize pool for that was $10 million. $7 million was added to it based on the community that purchased these fantasy league books, I guess, online books, where they could follow teams and get their own rewards from it. So, like in poker, because it's high stakes in these tournaments, it makes it so much more competitive, but not just the teams, but also for the players that also bet on these. I mean, at this website, we could bet real money, in-game money on these games. So it becomes much more exciting or stressful if you're betting. So that is a lot of information taken for not just the viewer, but for the players. So to conclude, esports is not just something America must be involved in, but it's a global thing. It's a global sport in a way, such as how soccer is, and or football if you're international. But so when I'm not trying to make this argument that esports is a sport in America. It is a global trend that America should be almost on board with, seeing how we support teamwork in a type of sport, and esports is definitely a trend in America based on what have you.
All right, Helen, what did you think?
Okay, so overall, the topic and everything was really good. The visuals and videos were very interesting. We did have a lot of information that wasn't cited, so I didn't know where that was coming from. And besides that, everything was interesting. Good job.
All right, I think you needed a little bit more structure at the beginning of the speech, and so we could see exactly how all this is going in. You kind of dive in with the visuals. You got the video clips. It takes you 3 minutes to get to your purpose statement. So you got an 8-minute speech, and you are 40% into the speech before you tell us what it is you're going to try and emphasize here. I got to agree with Helen. I didn't think that there's very much material that was being cited in the speech. I don't doubt that what you're saying is true and accurate. I just don't know where any of that information comes from. The personal experiences, I think, add to the interest level that's going on. I think that helps a little bit. You know, I think I need to know a little bit more about how the competitions work. You mentioned going on Twitch and being able to watch these games streaming, and I'm going, okay, so I know that there's a schedule and a tournament for any of the professional leagues that's going on. Is there such a schedule and a list of tournaments that people go through? That would have been, to me, a very practical visual that you could have done. Say, here are the 6 upcoming competitions in these particular events, and they're scheduled for these particular times, as opposed to, let me just randomly go on Twitch and watch people, you know, fight or shoot or whatever it is that they're doing. You know, how do I find one of these things that you are actually talking about, which is the kind of the tournament play where there is cash prizes and betting and stuff going on? Although I'm sure that there's betting going on, you know, on some of those other games too. You know, people who are into those games, I'm gonna, you know, $5,000, I kick your ass in the next game, you know, something like that. People do that kind of stuff, I suppose. But it feels like you've got a good subject here. It's got interesting components to it. It just needs to be put together a little bit more effectively. It doesn't really feel like you've got a clear structure and that you're moving through the material. It often just feels like we're kind of spinning into one piece of information and then to another piece of information. It needs to come together more coherently. Thank you for your patience, folks.